I'm Clarence Moriwaki. I'm president of the Bainbridge Island Japanese American Exclusion Memorial Committee, and I moved to Bainbridge Island about 10 years ago, but I've always known about the story of the Bainbridge Island Japanese American community being the first of 120,000 Japanese Americans taken to concentration camps in World War II. It pays to understand that I was a third-generation Japanese American Sansei, and so the previous generations, the Isseis and my father, the Niseis, they took in all this pain and all the guilt, and so my generation was wondering, why didn't they speak out when this was happening? Why didn't you fight it? Why didn't you say, wait a second, what about the Bill of Rights? What about my rights as a citizen? What are my charges? But culturally, they wouldn't do that, and it's because of the incredible atmosphere of the country at the time, including the President of the United States saying this is what you should do. They went along to go along. They wanted to show their patriotism. Now, that's my father's view. There were others. But it was stunning because my generation was able to address it, and the outrage that this indignity could happen to our parents. And that's when the redress movement started, which led to apologies by 5 presidents and of modest repayment of the time lost to those who were still alive. And there's also an astonishing, for me, how this could ever happen in America and how blind you could get. And it was a real lesson that what happened at the time, there was a fear in America, there was a sneak attack, there was a panic and hysteria, and then racial prejudice happened. There was not a mass exclusion of Italian Americans or German Americans throughout the country. You couldn't build enough places. You'd probably have to dislocate a city of Chicago or something to put all those folks in it. So it was racist as well. The Bainbridge Island community, with the Interfaith Council, a group of religious groups all around Bainbridge and the North Kitsap County area here, were working together to try to memorialize this, and their suggestion was to put a plaque at the ferry terminal. And my suggestion was, well, we have a site. The Eagle Dale Ferry landing, although it's not there, the Taylor Road that leads up to it is still there, so we should dream big and build something larger. And so that's where we are now. And we're really proud that there was the national recognition of becoming a National Historic Site under the Park Service. And we were grateful that the National Parks Conservation Association early on saw this as an important message to be carried forward. Parks are not just beautiful places, and we have them here in Washington State, some of the best crown jewels, the Olympic National Park and Mount Rainier. Those are fantastic. But parks are also places of history and culture and lessons of America. We do need the resources to finish it, and that's a challenge, especially in this economic times, but we believe that people will come forward and help us tell the story. And we're in a race against time. It's going to be a very hollow ribbon cutting if it takes so long to get there that none of the original survivors is there to cut that ribbon for us. The youngest person who survived this is 68 years old, and that means that they were, an infant at the camps. So I really would like to see the project completed so that some of the people we're trying to honor and remember will be there to help us open it.